The end of 2019 is at hand, and with it comes a brand new patch for Star Citizen, featuring hands down the most beautiful planet I have ever seen in any video game, period. Hey guys, I'm Morphologist, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to tell you guys a bit about patch 3.8, and specifically a sum of what I think might be one of the best parts of the patch. And it might not be what you're expecting, because it's not one specific item that's in the patch notes. It's more of how these things connect together to create a more complete experience for Star Citizen. And if you stick around, I'll tell you exactly what I mean. Oh, and if you like my content and think I deserve it by the end, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Now, many of you are probably already thinking that the key feature of 3.8 should be server-side object container streaming, and I think personally it's what I've been looking forward to the most in this patch. However, few then talk about what it actually means to have it in the game. It adds up to more than just a smoother experience, more than just having more. Used in the right way, it enables an additional immersion that we've not ever had in the past. How does it do this? Well, that's what we're going to talk about in this video. And we begin our journey here at Tresor Station. And this isn't a ground-based station. This is actually a space station and one of the new interiors that are now all about the game. But what this one piece to the puzzle does is more than just add more pretty things to look at, more places to inhabit. What it does is begins to give us a sense of scale in Star Citizen. Not just in terms of our scale relative to stations, planets, and ships, but also relative to the wider universe at large, namely through additional NPCs because the increased ability for the servers to be able to handle additional NPCs. Physical scale, though, shouldn't be underestimated. It's one of those things that many games that I've played struggle with. Games like EVE Online are massive in truth. Their planets, their ships, truly boggling the mind in scale. However, you can never really truly appreciate the scale of those things because there's nothing to really see them relative to. The windows on the sides of them kind of give us an idea of how big a human might be next to them, but even then, we spend so much time outside of them looking down in third person that we never really truly feel immersed in that environment. But that's not so here in Star Citizen. At least, that's not the intention. A gesture as simple as placing a massive station next to a planet really starts to allow us to understand the scale of the planets in Star Citizen. These are only 1/6 the scale of a true planet, but even then there is so much space on them that it would take you years upon years to scour every square kilometer of it. But I'll be honest, previous patches really haven't done much for me in the way of planets and exploration. They're not varied enough to really have that interest to make me want to go and explore to see what I could find. But Microtech, along with PlanetTech version 4, which has been applied across the board for all moons and planets in Star Citizen as of this patch, really changes that up quite a bit. And that's because version 4 does something to planets to make them look incredibly realistic. Microtech is the first planet to have so many different varied biomes on it, much like what we have on Earth. Frozen tundras, much like Iceland, high mountains, deep ravines, grassy fields, forests of deciduous and carnivorous trees. You can find it all here on Microtech. But the planet, as well as the station, again, are just pieces of the puzzle. Here we're landing now on the surface of Microtech, where I get to show you something that was previewed at CitizenCon that seemed pretty far away, but as so turns out, actually is here. Rain and wind buffeting our ships is no longer something that is only in our imagination. Star Citizen 3.8 brings it to us in a pretty grand fashion. Not only is this effect present on our ships, but if you step outside, you'll notice that you also get that effect directly on your character's helmet. And just listen to the sound effects to polish off the experience. these effects can vary. Here is just a light dusting from wind blowing up the snow in the northern regions, but you can get full-on snowstorms here in the high mountains that, if you fly into, can completely obstruct your vision. And it's also quite breathtaking to look at. Now, in case you're wondering, in 3.8 the effects on our character as well as our ship are not yet in. 3.9 is going to be bringing those effects to our character in the form of exposure. Not having the proper suit or being outside for too long can result in death in quite a quick fashion if it's an extreme environment. These blizzards can actually go as cold as negative 150 degrees Celsius, so being down on the surface can be very dangerous if you've not come prepared. Somehow these weather systems make it feel real in a way that it never has before. Make it feel dangerous, that the weather, the natural environment itself, can threaten you, more so maybe even than just people. And if you stick around for long enough, you might just find the Vista that you're looking for. I've never been an explorer, but I think Star Citizen might make one out of me. But it's not just the planets that are breathtaking. The environment art teams for landing zones have also outdone themselves here in New Babbage. And again here, it's about making Star Citizen understandable at the human scale. They've improved the way that they create city and Earth boundaries. It's not just a sheer wall anymore. It's a stepping down of recognizable terraces, openings, doors, and windows that meet the ground in a believable and realistic way. I can see this being a city here on Earth, albeit a very advanced city, but a city nonetheless. In and amongst the towers you can see tramways, roads, paths, parks, docks, everything you'd expect to see in a city. It's all understandable to our current technological level here on Earth. And that's what makes it so good. And while the interiors may not yet be in 3.8, that's coming in 3.9, at least for some of the buildings, it's still unbelievable to me that we can get so close and it still holds up. That's something that can't be said for Hurston, their first go at a city. Now there's a lot of games out there that can be competitive at this level, but they can't scale like Star Citizen does. There's not a full planet around you in games like Battlefield or PlanetSide 2 that have that level of detail all around in a nearly 2-scale environment. Star Citizen has that in every planet, moon, and eventually star. From gas giants to rocky moons like our own, everywhere may very well be worth visiting just to see the incredibly beautiful vistas. Server object container streaming is a difficult concept to grasp. Even if I explained it to you, you could probably understand it, but still then, it wouldn't really fully give you an appreciation for what it enables. And honestly, before 3.8, I had an inkling, but I really didn't truly understand. Here we're really starting to see what they can do with this tech. And I'm excited to see the next iterations of this tech. What more they're able to add into these environments for us to visit, for us to experience. This is their ambition paying off. It may just be a small down payment for us backers, but man, does it satiate my appetite. And I can't wait to see what they do in 3.9. But what about you? Do you feel like I do about it putting you in the environment to make you actually feel like you're there? Do you feel more immersed now in the experience? Let me know down in the comments section below. This isn't the only thing that's in 3.8 to cover, and there'll be more videos coming in the very near future on that subject. So if you want to see those, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you like the video, you know what to do. I've been Morphologist. Happy holidays.